trying to establish something here. He speaks out of the fire. And out of the fire he says, make me a sanctuary. And the first thing he said that he wants is he said, make this ark. Look with me at the 40th chapter. Same book. 33. And he entered, and he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, set up the hanging of the gate. So Moses finished the work. Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of the Lord fills the tabernacle. The glory fills the tabernacle. We could use that. But I want you to understand, where does the fire, where does the Shekinah glory come from? It does fill the tabernacle, but it is situated in one specific place. In the first thing that God said to make was the Ark of the Covenant. In that 25th chapter of the book of Exodus, if you want to go back there and look, you will see in the 10th verse, and they shall make an ark of shittim wood, and 2 cubits and a half shall be the length, and 1 cubit and a half the breadth thereof, and 1 cubit and a half the height thereof. And thou shalt overlay it with pure gold within without, and thou shalt overlay it with what made upon a crown and gold upon. And I'm trying to get through it. Thou shalt cast 4 rings. Let me find the particular verse I want for time's sake. He goes on describing it. In the 22nd verse, after all of this is described, and God said, this is how you make it. And then he says, and there I will meet with thee. And from there I will commune with thee from above that mercy seat, from between those cherubims, which are upon the ark of the testimony of all things which I will give thee in the commandment unto the children of Israel. So God says, here's the deal. I am going to speak to you from the fire, and then build me a sanctuary, make this ark of the covenant, and then he said, then I am going to be right above that ark of the covenant. So what God is saying to us by this pattern is he said, here is holy ground. This is where I am. But what God wants us to understand is he's trying to express more than that. He said, it's here I will appear. It was here they heard his voice. It's here that he said, I will meet with man. He's revealing holy ground, but he's also revealing who he is. He's saying, this is where I'm found, but he's saying, this is who I am. Now, why would this be who he is? Look at Deuteronomy, the 10th chapter. First verse. And the Lord, at that time, the Lord said unto me, hew thee 2 tables of stone, like unto the first, and come up unto me into the mount, and make thee an ark of wood, and I will write on the tables the words that were in the first table, which thou breakest, and thou shalt put them in the ark. And I made an ark of shittim wood, and hewed 2 tables of stone, and like unto the first, and went up on the mount, having the 2 tables in my hand. And he wrote on the tables according to the first. God wrote on the tables according to the first, writing the 10 commandments, which the Lord spake unto you in the mount out of the midst of the fire, in the day of the assembly. And the Lord gave them unto me. I turned myself, came down from the mount, and put the tables in the ark which I had made. The fire of God chooses in the temple to hover over the 10 commandments. His glory fills the temple, but he said, you'll find me hovering over those 10 commandments. God is saying to us, this is who I am. Look, in Exodus, the 31st chapter, Exodus, the 31st chapter and the 18th verse, He gave unto Moses, when he had made an end of communing with him upon Mount Sinai, 2 tables of testimony. Tables of stone written with the finger of God. So there they're called the testimony. The entire character of God is expressed in this law. And the entire character and purpose of the tabernacle is expressed by God's character. Everything else is the apparel that He wears. Everything else is just the pieces that come together on that ark or on that Shekinah glory. And He said, I will be over that law. God is saying, my character is expressed in that law. It's not expressed in worship. It's not expressed in fire. It's not expressed in love. It's not expressed in any other way. God said, my character is expressed in law. All of those things come out of that. In Romans 7:12, God's character expressed in law. Let's look what that expresses. In Romans, the 7th chapter and the 12th verse. Wherefore the law is holy, the commandment holy, and just, and good. The law is holy, and the commandment holy, and just, and good. In Exodus, the 40th chapter, and the 36th verse, when the cloud was taken up over the tabernacle, the children of Israel went onward in all their journey. If the cloud was not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Lord was upon the tabernacle by day, and the fire was on it by night, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. Now, if we understand that Israel follows that cloud, they don't do anything unless that cloud leads them. And we understand that that cloud hovers over that law. Then we know that God is saying you must be led by that law. That's what He's talking about. Have I lost you yet? No. So then, could it not be accurately stated that because Israel is led by a cloud that hovers and does not depart from that law, that they are led by the law? But could it not also just as accurately be stated that because the cloud that will not depart from the law is Spirit, that Israel was led by the Spirit? Yep. So what is God saying? He's saying that the law and the Spirit are the same